I want to talk about the importance of maintaining magazines and having enough magazines for SHTF and self-defense. First, when it comes to just carrying enough mags on a daily basis, I prefer to go with 3. I think you should at least have 2 mags on your person at all times. The one in your gun that you everyday carry, and also in a spare one, but I actually like to carry 2 spares. So this is what I typically work with on a general basis, on a daily basis. Beyond that, I would definitely recommend having 2 additional magazines for just range use. You can practice reloads if you have an outdoor range. So that's something I would definitely consider. Set those 2 off to the side. Sometimes I do use my carry mag for practice just to make sure it works. But I also make sure I cycle through there, and also make sure I cycle through the ammunition as well. But anyway, I would put aside another 4 just for extended emergencies. This would be just for like SHTF. I think this is like the minimum I would go with. So I'm talking 3 on my person, plus it's 2 for range stuff. That's 5. So a total of at least 9. Matter of fact, I would also have 9 or 10 rifle magazines for your SHTF rifle. Now, why do I say 9 magazines for each gun, your pistol and your rifle? Mainly because magazines in semi-auto, they get damaged, the spring wears out, they don't last forever. And I'm not saying you're going to be in like a World War III scenario, but they're over a long period of time, you don't know if you're going to be able to hold on, keep up with all these different magazines. If you start off with just 3 magazines and one gets damaged and the other one's spring wears out, if you can't find another spring, you're just basically stuck with 1 magazine. And the magazines you have in the beginning of a prolonged scenario is what you're going to have for a while. You can't rely on, I'm going to scavenge and get more AR-15 mags. You don't know if those mags are even reliable. You want to start off with at least 9 magazines, AR-15 if that's your gun, or AK, whatever, or in your pistol mags. You want to start off with 9 magazines that you know are functional and reliable. The springs are good, it's in good condition. You don't want to rely on scavenge stuff because you won't be able to just test fire your gun whenever the heck you want to in a grid down scenario, in a situation where resources are scarce. You don't know if you're going to be able to find more magazines for your gun. And even if you can, like I said, you can't guarantee that whatever you pick up is going to be reliable. Just like when you go to the store, when I go and buy a magazine, first of all, it's factory made. When it comes to Glock 21, I don't buy the Korean stuff, the aftermarket crap, just basically Glock factory magazines. I stick with that. They are the most reliable. They're made by the company that actually makes the gun. All right. I actually go to the range. I use the magazine. I go through a cycle, make sure it's actually functional. I don't assume that just because it's new, it's going to work. So that's something to keep in mind. Magazines, they break down. So you got to be, you got to understand that what you have in the beginning of a grid down scenario, that may be what you're stuck with for a while. You never know what may happen with the government either. They may ban some magazines. You just don't know. So yeah, clean your magazines. Make sure they're in good working order. Make sure they're not damaged or anything. Find a way of actually carrying them. So I have mag carriers for my pistols. I'm gonna get some Conex carriers for AR and AK as well. So figure out how you're gonna actually carry these mags as well. So these are some things you might want to consider. Quick little update on my everyday carry bag. I decided to take the 9mm out, the Glock 17 out, and replace it with Glock 30, because the Glock 30 takes my Glock 21 mags, and my Glock 21, of course, is my everyday carry, so that made more sense. Here's my Glock 21. I don't carry a light or any type of optic, but I'm pretty comfortable with the setup. So I'm also going to carry, my additional magazines, I'm going to carry them with a holder. So if there ever was a situation where I had to use it, I would at least have a holder. If I didn't have access to the mag carrier that I carry every single day, then I would have another option for both of the handguns are going to be in this bag. So yeah, the Glock 30 mags won't go into the Glock 21, but the Glock 21 mags will go into the Glock 30. So there it is. I have the holster for the Glock 30. typically comes with a 10-round magazine, but of course you can put these Gen 5 and Gen 3 Glock 21 mags in the Glock 30. But the thing is, you got to be aware of which ones. Like, for example, if you wanted to use something with an X grip, you can only use a Gen 3 or Gen 4 mags. You couldn't use a Gen 5 mag and put this little sleeve on the Gen 5 mag because it wouldn't quite work right. Wouldn't fit with that sleeve. But yeah, I really like the sleeve. I will say this, I actually carried 2 Glock 30s at one point, so I experimented. And I carried one of them with this Glock 21 mag with a sleeve. That was pretty cool. But you don't need a sleeve for it to work. It worked just fine without the sleeve. I've taken it to the range, I've tested it, and it's pretty reliable. Still rocking with the AK. Of course, I have the AK in here. It's a collapsible stock, a folding stock. The USP-45 is basically an SHTF type of gun. It's a all-environment type of gun. It's definitely, some people say it's overbuilt, but I just think it's a really awesome hammer-fire gun. Classic. But I think it goes really well with the AK rifle. But yeah, everything else is just about the same. Still have the tourniquet and the trauma stuff in the front. Some bandages, quick clot. The food in the middle. I don't have as much as I used to have, but it'll do. And of course you have the basic water filter, pouch, weatherproof matches inside. Got a light, which I made sure I unscrewed. I have a small sleeping bag, some potassium iodine pills, radio, additional antenna, multi-tool, and a compass. So there you go. I want to keep my magazines clean and ready and loaded before SHTF. I want to be ready, not if something happens, I want to be ready. I don't want to be getting ready. I want to be ready. So there you guys go. Those are my thoughts. Share your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget the future belongs to those who prepare for it today.